It's Friday, March 19th, 2021, and this is The Inbox with Greg Nibbler. That's me. Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Going into the weekend. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. I do appreciate it. We all appreciate it. So, of course, hit subscribe to Two Box Media on whatever platform you're watching on, whenever you are doing this, because this is The Inbox with Greg Nibbler. And what we're going to do right now is catch you up to date on some of the biggest stories in tech and entertainment over the last week, so you know going into the weekend what has gone on. And let's start off with this. We finally got some product launches happening this month with Samsung. Now, it's not the highest end, flashiest devices, but actually it's pretty cool. So let me explain why. Normally when a company launches a mid-tier phone, it's neat, but it's not as cool as what this is that Samsung did. So this is their Samsung Awesome Unpacked event, Galaxy Awesome Unpacked, their words again. But let's talk about what it was that came out. And what it is, it's their mid-tier phones. It's this A series of phones, and I'm talking about the new A52 replacing the 51, the A72 replacing the 71. Samsung said that these are the most sold phones worldwide from their entire lineup. 3 out of 4 phones fall into this category, and they've been big worldwide, but now they're really pushing them here. And this is the first time they've done kind of a big announcement like this for the US market. And what you've got are a whole bunch of features that are normally in the really high-end phones are now showing up into these ones, which means for less money, you can get a lot of that cool stuff. A couple of key things that I noticed here. One, there's only one 5G phone. I did find that to be kind of surprising, although 5G, granted, it's still, coming out everywhere. So I guess maybe they just figured that this is what they'll focus on for that. So you do have one 5G, but some of the other key things, they're saying 2-day battery life on these phones. That's huge because that's something that everybody always wants is a better battery life. You've got great camera features and some of the ones that are actually used to be in the S21 and kind of going down that way, bringing these features down. And you see that happen a lot when you see these high-end phones, but now we're having it happen a lot quicker because they know people are, for whatever reason, buying mid-tier phones and not necessarily paying the $1,000 or more for some of those high-end ones. So you got that. Also, another big feature, the IPX67. So the IP rating, let me just boil that down. It means dustproof and waterproof. And since it has that rating, that's a really, really good one. Essentially, no dust should be able to get into this. So that's an international rating when you get down to it as far as what things are classified during that. So no dust can get in, but also in theory, this thing should be able to be up to 1 meter underwater for 30 minutes. That's enormous. I mean, that's huge right there. If you're somebody like me if you followed me for long enough, you know I have bad luck with phones and I drop them and break them. And also I've dunked them in water before. So I like this idea. I like the idea that something's just going to be a little bit sturdier for people like me who drop them in puddles. So that's great. And that's also another addition that they're putting on there. So a couple of other things, like I said, 5G in the A52, but you've got both of those different phones coming out. Another huge thing, 120 hertz refresh rate on a mid-tier phone. That's big because Apple's SE is still only 60 hertz refresh rate. So that means the picture is going to be amazing. It's going to refresh really fast. You're going to have really cutting edge things, maybe even going into gaming. If you're watching video, it's just an added bonus that you'll have that on there. It'll look really good. And it's AMOLED screens, all in this mid-tier line. Again, it's the A52, the A72. They still have the ability to upgrade the storage on there, which I know for iPhone users, that's not something you've had for a while. If you're an Android user, some of the newer ones don't have that ability, but it's always kind of nice to be able to pop in a mini SD card or micro SD card and do that, or at least be able to take it out and take your photos out on it. So all of that coming out with these. We don't have a word on the price yet. They're going to be rolling out sometime in the next month, so we'll get more details on that, but expect them to be most likely in the $300 to $600 range, which means if you're upgrading on your service plan, it's not going to be that much money to get those or to just buy them outright, at least comparatively compared to some of those higher end ones. But always cool to see new features come out in that mid-tier line. You've got Google with their Pixel 3a, 4a, Apple with their SE line. So this is something that expect maybe the other manufacturers to also do that and bring more features in, but definitely a cool thing with theirs. So that's Samsung with their Galaxy Awesome Unpacked event that happened this last week. Definitely something you should know about. There's rumors of an Apple event coming up. It was supposed to maybe happen next week. We don't know if there was going to be iPhones or anything in there, but just stay tuned for that as well. So if that does happen, we'll bring you all the details on whatever Apple announces. Continuing on here with some trending news, let's get into the real futuristic stuff. Now, this is coming from Facebook, and it has to do essentially with a neurally linked wristband. What it means is super future sci-fi stuff. So let's just actually explain what this is. So there's a video that they put out there, and it is showing how you can attach this wristband. It'll monitor what your neural feeds are. So if you think about neural network, that's something that that Elon Musk is working. That's where they implant things in your brain. We're not going that far with this. What it's reading is actually the movements of your wrist. So think about this. A real basic way that I saw to kind of explain this is if you think about moving your hand, your brain is sending a signal to your finger to move your hand, move your fingers. Well, this wristband can read that. So it can read what's going on with your nerves and then kind of anticipate what you're going to do. That's how quickly this thing can operate. It would work in conjunction with glasses, with some augmented reality glasses. And what you're seeing here is the idea that you could type on an invisible keyboard and it would be able to read how your fingers work and adapt over time. So that's an example right there of somebody doing this and just typing in thin air, making that work. Other things that you're going to be able to do with it, if you think about it from the gaming aspect, there's tons of features with that. And they're saying this would work in conjunction with augmented reality glasses that they're working on. So, everybody's working on augmented reality glasses. You got Microsoft with the HoloLens. That's kind of a high-end one. Apple's supposedly going to be coming out with some at some point, and Facebook's made it no secret. They're working on it too. But if you take a look at that, this is this woman just walking around in this warehouse with, all kinds of, I don't know what she's going to do with those shapes, but whatever. You can move them around. That's the cool part. And then also they showcase some of the different ways that can be, incorporated in. And the gaming side of things, I think that's where you could really get into some pretty cool stuff. At one point, she uses like a bow and arrow that's incorporated in with this. So it's definitely pretty fun. Again, they're showing their kind of, the high-end way of how that's tracking, but it's not implanting something into your brain. So I just want to make that clear because there are ones out there that are doing that, as I mentioned with Elon Musk. But this is what they're showing. So this comes from Facebook's Reality Labs. It's certainly pretty unobtrusive if you imagine incorporating that into like a normal smartwatch. And I don't think we're that far away from this kind of thing coming out, especially if they're showing it. And there's a lot of companies working on things like this. But I like that idea, and I know, we all give Facebook a lot of guff. I'll just say that. But this is actually a pretty cool product. And I think once you start figuring out different ways to do that, that's a lot of data that it's going to store. There's always those issues, but that's something that they are showcasing with their Reality Labs. And I want to know what you think about that. Is this something you'd be interested in? Even if you take the Facebook name off of it, if that's a concern, is this something that you would be interested in using? I think there's a lot of use cases for it, so I find it kind of cool. I would definitely want to try that out. That's what they released here this week. All right, we're just going to kind of get you these big topics, get you these things that matter. Let's talk about, well, really it all comes back to TikTok, doesn't it? Vine, then TikTok, then Instagram Reels, then you have Twitter with their fleets, and now YouTube with their shorts. So this is YouTube's take on TikTok. You knew it was coming, and actually it's been around worldwide for a little while. India's been using it for several months, and now it's rolling out to the United States. And that's what it is. It is their take on TikTok. So how it's going to show up, it's going to be on your YouTube app. When you pull it up, these are the same kinds of things. They paid a bunch of creators to come over and make some of these to start it right off. And it'll give you a feed just like you do get on TikTok. It'll just constantly refresh it with new stuff. One thing that I found pretty interesting on the YouTube creator side, because this is where YouTube does have a huge advantage, is how many people are on it. And if you have a channel already, if somebody is already subscribed to you, supposedly they're going to be subscribed to your Shorts account as well, just automatically. In addition, if you subscribe to somebody's Shorts account, you subscribe to their regular YouTube channel, so you'll also be subscribed to their normal longer form videos too. This is what YouTube's doing. It's not going to be going away. This is something they, like I said, they've been testing out worldwide, and it's just another form of showing how much of an influence TikTok has had on everything. Another key factor here is they're also working with musical artists to bring in music into it. There are certain shortfalls compared to TikTok, but they're banking on the fact that they have so many subscribers to YouTube that this will be something that people will just naturally navigate into. I don't know about you, how many people out there use Reels, have been using that, or how many people are using Twitter's fleet. I think I did that once, and then I just kind of forgot about it, but it's still there. Everybody wants a little bit of that TikTok action. So that's what YouTube's got right now. You'll see that update coming out. Let me know what you think about that. I'm really curious to see if this is something that people will be using, because if you are, then I'll do it. All right. Final thing here. Just to, again, give you just a quick update. You're on a Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you are, of some things going on in the world. And this, I think, is great because it's a sign that maybe finally, possibly, there's hope. We may have a normal life at some point, and that is because Super Nintendo World finally opened. This is something I've certainly talked about, a lot of people have over the last year or so. It's been in the plans for multiple years, and it got delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. Well, now, yesterday, March 18th, it finally opened up. This is in Osaka, Japan, and it is exactly what you would think it is. It is an entire world of Super Nintendo World. The reports I've seen are that it's pretty surreal. You play a game when you go through. You apparently punch things to get coins. You've got a wristband that you wear. You've got augmented reality glasses you can do that will overlay the Koopa Troopas over everything. They've got a Bowser ride. They've got all kinds of different things, including Super Mario Kart, which that sounds super awesome. I would definitely be into that. And they opened up, though, with a limited capacity. And I think what this is kind of a sign and a showcase for other theme parks, other things of how you can go about doing it. We do know, Disneyland, Disney World made some announcements. They're going to be opening up again, or opening up to bigger crowds here at some point in the next month or so. But Super Nintendo World finally coming out. Look, I want to go to it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I want to go, and that's really what I'm saying. So Universal Studios, if you want to send us there, the inbox live from Super Nintendo World, I'm A-okay with that. But that is what's happening. It's out there now. You can go there. If you can make it to Osaka, Japan, you can go to Super Nintendo World. Now, that's not the only one. It's part of a huge plan over the next decade. So if you're not interested in that, too bad. You're going to be hearing about it constantly over the next, probably, like I said, about a decade plan. 2025, they're planning one for Orlando. There's plans for a California one, I believe Europe. Like, these things are going to be everywhere. I love the addition of all the kind of cutting edge tech involved in it. And there's lots of videos out there that you can see that they've put out. Some of them are a little creepy. Some of them just look amazing. Regardless, I want to go. I want to be amazed and creeped out both at the same time at Super Nintendo World. So there you go. Those are some big stories. Just a quick rundown of some of the things that you can read about, that you can know now going into the weekend. And that is what we do here with the Inbox. And of course, part of 2Box Media. So what I want you to do right now is just hit subscribe, share, like, all of that stuff, whatever you're on. We appreciate that because we do go live every Monday and Friday. And we've got lots of other videos that come up too, some great interviews, lots of stuff to check out at youtube.com/2boxmedia. That's a great place to go to right now. You just watch this, why not just hop right over there? I won't do the click next time, but that's what you can do. All right, so there you go. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Again, I'm Greg Nibbler, and you can always email us, info@2boxmedia.com. You can write me on Twitter @GregNibbler, @2boxmedia, any of that stuff. Let us know what you think in the comments about everything that we talked about, and everybody have a great weekend. On behalf of myself, Jess Serba, Mikey Solis, we'll talk to you on Monday with another edition of The Inbox with Greg Nibbler.